Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Mr. Blue podcast. I'm your host, Blu-rayDave, and I've talked about this briefly on a separate Star Wars video, but now, I'm happy to talk about it on its own separate video, take this more seriously, and I want to connect with you guys, in the Star Wars community, right? So, you've already read the title. We're going to get into it. I know it's going to be controversial for a lot of reasons, but again, I want to hear your guys' thoughts, opinions, discussions, debates, whatever, in the comments, and, whatever specific Star Wars videos I talk about going into, just, the franchise in general. You guys have, really good hot takes, and I've never, disagreed or, hated you guys for oh, you guys are wrong. No, everybody has different backgrounds about the franchise. People see Star Wars in their own different points of view, and that's okay. That's fine. Of course, your opinions are valid, right? Of course, I respect them, right? So what I'm trying to get into this episode, guys, is, again, you already read the title, did Disney actually make Star Wars relevant? And what I mean by that is that, in recent years, I have learned about, the hate that Star Wars has received, after the prequel era, and I was lucky enough to, not pay attention to that, in my early years when, I was getting into Star Wars, right? But yeah, let's look at the facts, though. So, as much as I hate to admit this as a Star Wars fan, after, Revenge of the Sith, sure, a lot of people liked Revenge of the Sith from the prequels, but still, people were just, this was a time, this lasted for a while, this was a time where you could not be a Star Wars fan. Unfortunately, and I was fortunate enough to, skip that, quote-unquote, skip that era, if you know what I mean. 2010 is when I really got into the franchise. I was just so positive about it. I will always talk positively about Star Wars. And, of course, even I knew, when I watched the Clone Wars, I knew it was canon, right? I took whatever continuity that George put out, right? I don't know if it's safe to say that the hate for Star Wars, let's just assume, it started in 2005, post Revenge of the Sith, all the way up to, when, Disney bought Lucasfilm, right? 2012. So, let's just say, the hate lasted for, oh my gosh, I almost lost my train of thought, but I know what I'm saying, right? 8 years, right? 2005 to 2013, right? I think that's when people started to really care more, right? Now's the time to actually be a Star Wars fan. I'm trying to get to my point here, but obviously I'm trying to give you guys the facts right here. Because back in the day, even with all the hate, all the people cared about was the movies, right? Just the original six. Sure, when the Clone Wars came out, when it came out on Cartoon Network, sure, there was the assumption oh, this is a cartoon, it's only made for kids. I feel there was few adults in that equation who actually enjoyed the Clone Wars, and they were, I don't know, I guess embarrassed to admit oh, I love the Clone Wars, It actually redeems the prequels, and it does. Because without the Clone Wars, I know for a fact that the prequels still would have been hated. Even if the Clone Wars didn't exist, and when the sequels still came out, people would still love the prequels regardless, but the Clone Wars, again, they especially fixed Anakin's character, it makes a lot of sense, like why he is the way he is, like before Revenge of the Sith, you know. So George was way ahead of his time, right? So yeah, again, for all like people knew, like it was just the movies, and you know, again, the Clone Wars did have some relevance, right? Just because like, again, not a lot of adults, again, they didn't really care for the show, right? Again, I bring this up briefly sometimes in my videos, and I'm not calling them out, but like back in the day. Again, before the Clone Wars was really relevant, my dad, like, these are really funny memories. Like, whenever I would put on the Clone Wars, right, every time I'd be like, why don't you just put on one of the movies, right? Like, oh my gosh, I was so annoyed every time with it. But, like, they're funny memories, but, like, anytime now, like, whatever, like, Star Wars animated project that me or one of my siblings puts on, like he doesn't complain anymore. Like thank you Disney, thank you for you know, having my dad like enjoy some of the cartoons, right? Because like again, I love what Lucasfilm does with the cartoons. Like sure, like they may be targeted, like quote unquote targeted for kids, but like the adults can enjoy them too. Like Star Wars doesn't necessarily have to be live action. Like I've loved most of the animated stuff that we got for Star Wars, right? I mean, Disney, honestly, like with the Clone Wars animated stuff, like you've been putting out in recent years, like why can't they just be TV-14? Like, Cartoon Network had the balls with the Clone Wars to show some, I guess, like quote-unquote graphic stuff. And even the Clone Wars itself should have been TV-14, like, for Cartoon Network. Can you imagine if, like, the Clone Wars would be Cartoon Network's first TV-14 series? I don't think Cartoon Network would have a problem with that. Like, oh, if it was TV-14, they would have put on Adult Swim. Like, no. If they want to put the Clone Wars on Adult Swim, it would be mature. But, I have a feeling that the Clone Wars or Cartoon Network wouldn't have a problem, like, still releasing episodes of the Clone Wars, like, during the day when Cartoon Network is out, before Adult Swim comes on, right? And I'm happy that Disney, with the 7th season, they still kept that formula, you know? Sure, there was a couple of, like, you know, like, they were pulling their punches, I'd say, but, like, they still kept that formula, right? So, that's why I love season 7 the most, because like they took the lore seriously, right? And we were in the Revenge of the Sith era, right? So yeah, let's get into Disney Star Wars. Like again, Star Wars has peaked throughout many different timelines, like through different generations. Like it, you know, started 77 and like current, like I love hearing people say, like, especially with the Disney era, like they keep saying, oh, this one Disney Plus show is peak Star Wars, or this one is peak Star Wars, and I would agree, right? Like Ahsoka is peak Star Wars, Andor is peak Star, again, definitely the Clone Wars season 7 is peak Star Wars. Like Star Wars Rebels, I remember the hype for that show, like everybody was so excited just because this was like the first real piece of like Star Wars canon to the Disney era, right? Like to get us all hyped up for Force Awakens, right? So yeah, like I said, I'm happy with you know, Disney now, like besides making, you know, Star Wars relevant, which I'll get into a little bit, like they've made the cartoons relevant. And I love how everybody is talking about whatever cartoon that Disney puts out, right? Like again, thank you Disney for that. Thank you. So again, getting back to the relevance of Star Wars, sure, like it was, you know, became relevant when the originals came out, right? And again, when the prequels came out, like, I know for a lot of people, like, Star Wars wasn't relevant anymore. Again, like, again, I want to say, like, for 8 years, but when Disney bought Lucasfilm and they made a lot of projects, like, they filled in the gaps with, like, a lot of the stuff, like, between the movies and, again, like, between, Clone Wars and Rebels, like, it got the conversation going. So, again, this begs the question, did Disney make Star Wars relevant? And the answer to that is yes. Now, again, I know Star Wars is one of the most divisive franchises ever. But you know what? That's okay. And, like, when I say like that, like, Star Wars is not for everyone. Like, again, even if you're a fan, you're not going to like everything. Whether it's in the canon or the expanded universe, which is now Legends or whatever, like, not everything Star Wars is going to be for you. And again, that's okay. You have your personal preferences and all that, and again, that's okay. I'm happy that the sequels are not being talked about anymore, like, because again, like, a lot of people were drifting away from those, and, like, they went back to the prequels. Like, the prequels is my favorite trilogy, like, in any trilogy in general. Like, to me, like, they're 10 out of 10. Like, I love every single one of them. Like, I'm happy I did not hate on The Phantom Menace when I first watched it, like, because, like, I loved it. I loved that film. I'm happy I got to have that movie theater experience for the 20th anniversary last year. I got the popcorn bucket for it. Yeah, I'm happy. Like, I'm happy we're, like, in the Disney Plus era of Star Wars. Like, we're just taking a long break with the movies, at least until, like, next year with the Mando and Grogu movie. Which, by the way, Lucasfilm, what is your freaking slate with these movies coming up? Like, Taika Waititi's movie, like, he says it's gonna piss a lot of us Star Wars fans off, and you know what? Like, that's obviously the biggest red flag, so I'm not gonna go see it, of course. The frickin' Rey movie, like, obviously skipping that one out. Sean Levy's movie, I don't remember the reports that they said, like, oh, it's gonna be around, like, the sequel era. Like, if that's the case, skipping it. So, with the Disney era of Star Wars, obviously there's going to be different eras. Because, with the George Lucas era, like, of course there were different eras, right? So, the first era was mainly, like, 2014 through 2019, to be specific. Again, the Rebels through the Rise of Skywalker era, and The Mandalorian was just the start for the next era, right? So, I feel like we're in the second era of, like, the Disney Plus era, and then the next era will be going back to films, which, again, Mando and Grogu and the upcoming, like, Star Wars prequel to the prequels movie, like, The Origins of the Jedi. Like, I'm excited for that one. There's so much I want to say, and hopefully I'll talk about everything in this. And even if I didn't cover everything, and if you guys want me to cover in another video, I can. Yeah, that R-rated Boba Fett movie, that can still happen, like, again, I talked about this briefly in my previous episode of the podcast, where we're in the mature era in Disney, where the mature content isn't just going to be, like, it's not going to be exclusive to Marvel. Like, the Disney in general, they're going to go, like, move forward with mature content, right? So, like, they're going to make a Star Wars Zombies project, which I'm super excited about. Like, Disney, make that R-rated Boba Fett movie, and continue making 1313, right? Like, revise that. Like, again, we're in this difficult time, or, like, these are trying times with the franchise now. Like, Disney, specifically Lucasfilm, is slowly getting their fans back. But like, if you really want to get your fans back, Lucasfilm, um, bring back LucasArts for one, because it was like the number one gaming studio for gaming, really. Like, yeah, specifically, of course, bring back Angry Birds Star Wars, Assault Team. Those were like my go-to games. And Tiny Death Star. Who didn't like? I never met a person who like didn't like Tiny Death Star. Like, those games I referenced, I would play those religiously, guys. Also, like, really make George Lucas's sequel trilogy, like, I mean, thank God, like, Ahsoka decanonized a Disney sequel trilogy, like, they're not canon anymore. I've heard that Star Wars Detours might make a revival, a comeback, like, maybe that'll be the case, like, that'll be, like, a Disney Plus original thing now. I don't think they're going to revive Star Wars Robot Chicken, as far as I'm aware. I did not want to leave the show out. Underworld. That was going to be the first live-action Star Wars show. I'm actually, like, on my TV, YouTube, right? Like, there's a new animated series that's coming on May 4th. Like, I want to make sure, like, I want to get this right. Like, just give me a few seconds here, guys. Like, Tales. Okay. Tales of the Underworld. Okay. I don't know. I just don't like the idea that Lucasfilm has to give everything Tales of whatever. Like, I enjoy Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Empire or Sith, the Tales of the Underworld. Like, we can't give everything a Tales, like, but I love how Lucasfilm is not giving everybody, and I mean everybody, a Disney Plus series, just like Marvel, like what they've been doing the last couple of years. Like, just didn't like it. Like, I like how they're focusing on, like, pivotal / important characters that who do deserve a Disney Plus series, right? But, they could still revive Underworld, I've seen some of the footage. I don't know how much George shot for that series. Like, I don't know. I don't think he recorded, like, I don't think he shot, like, the whole series. But if Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau were to recover the footage and whatever didn't get finished, like, I'm sure they'll add in some new stuff and hopefully remain loyal to George's vision, right? Again, like, Disney will interfere, they'll try to push some stuff, but, like, can you imagine witnessing the first live action Star Wars show on ABC, by the way? Oh, man. I never got to experience The Mandalorian on ABC. Like, when Disney wanted to test out, like, hey, let's put on a couple of Disney Plus series on ABC, right? Like, they put Mandalorian and Miss Marvel. I don't know if those were the only two, but, like, I'm happy that there's more love for the franchise in general. Like, I definitely liked some of the stuff that Disney has put out. Again, that gets the conversation going, and I talk to people at work about, like, upcoming Star Wars projects, right? Like, Disney, like, Lucasfilm is getting there. It's slowly getting there, getting back to, like, making Star Wars, popular again. Yeah, let's face the harsh reality of this, guys. If Disney did not buy Lucasfilm, like, I know that would make a lot of people happy, like, oh, like, Disney didn't buy Lucasfilm. Like, if Disney did not buy Lucasfilm would still be hated on to this day. There will be no Rebels, there'll be, like, No, Disney sequel trilogy, of course, because, that was a different story with George. What could have, like, again, even if Disney, like, didn't buy the company, what could have, like, revived the franchise, right? Like, maybe well, I know for a fact the Clone Wars still would have aired on Cartoon Network. Like, I think season 8, if I recall, like, was going to be, like, the last one. Like, they would have gotten, like, everything out for the Clone Wars, right? I just really hope that Dave and John don't make a Clone Wars, like, animated show for the sequels to, revive the sequels, like how the Clone Wars did for the prequels. Because, hey, what the Clone Wars did, like, is justified. Like, again, it gave the prequels a purpose, right? Because you guys gotta remember, like, even when I was getting into Star Wars, sure, I only watched episodes 1 and 2 at the time before I was 13 years old. Like, I liked the original trilogy. I was on board with everybody else. Like, now you got a generation of different Star Wars fans who, like, they don't just like the originals anymore. Like, again, there are your prequel fans, there are your sequel fans, there's, like, your Clone Wars fans. Like, again, there's multiple, eras of that. Like, yes, I love both the prequels and the Clone Wars, right? But yeah, I just don't really see the point of making sequel trilogy side projects when Disney, you already know that the sequel trilogy failed. Why aren't you learning from your mistakes? And I'm happy that Disney, like, they're bringing in fans to decide what should be best for different properties, right? So, like, aren't there fans at Disney right now? Like, why hasn't any of them stepped up saying, like, listen, you saw how the sequels perform, like, it hurt the franchise, like, ignore everything sequel and just keep focusing on the different eras of Star Wars. And again, Disney saw their mistakes, like, again, like with the sequels, like, when they bought Lucasfilm, like, they wanted to take a break from the prequels because they hated the prequels mostly, like, and they hated, like, George's original vision. Like, they wanted to, like, reboot the franchise. Do you guys remember, like, those reports, like, Disney really wanted to, like, reboot both trilogies? And when I heard that, like, no, you can't do that. Like, Disney, come on. So I'm happy that Dave and John have more creative control, and the fact that Kathleen Kennedy's officially going to step down this year from Lucasfilm, like, oh man, that is music to my ears. It's pretty funny how she quote-unquote made, like, oh, we don't have any source material, like, we don't, like, the books or the comic books or whatever. Like, what? You clearly did not do your homework, lady. And I've read some of that stuff over the years. Like, sure, I didn't read everything, but some of it was pretty good. And the fact that Dave and John are bringing some Legends characters or some Legends continuity into the Disney canon, like, that makes me happy. Like, I really want to see Starkiller so bad in live action, And even, like, some of the video games now in the Disney era, they're canon, Was a Jedi Fallen Order, that's canon, so I want to see, like, I haven't played the games, but I've heard they're pretty good. Like, want that, one guy to appear in live action. Like, I'm sorry, like, I don't remember his name or whatever, but, like, I remember hearing positive reviews. EA, when part of the Disney era, like, they've been getting a lot of heat, but I haven't heard anything that much negativity with them in recent years. Like, I think it's, like, Fallen Order, like, it's been popular, like, Battlefront 2, that's gotten a lot of positive reviews. Oh my gosh, you probably hear my cat in the background, he's going nuts. It's it's almost 3 o'clock in the morning by the time you guys are listening to this. I get with the Disney era, like, again, I love how they're making Star Wars relevant for sure, because they're filling in the gaps, like, especially like between the movies. That magic touch just isn't there anymore, and like with marketing, right? And the Roman numeral DVDs, like, those were the crap, guys. Like, you guys know I own all of them, minus the 2006 re-releases, because I refuse to get those. But I have them, like, and even the VHS is like, that's what is missing, and the marketing for Revenge of the Sith, like, I've watched a lot of videos over the years, like, the hype for the movie, like, oh man, I wish I was aware of the hype, and I was 4 years old when that movie came out. And Revenge of the Sith is still my all-time favorite Star Wars movie, and, like, it beats Empire, because I hate that people, in general, they keep claiming, like, oh, Empire is the greatest sequel of all sequels, it's the best Star Wars movie. Like, no, it's overrated. Revenge of the Sith, it's a darker movie than Empire, like, come on, guys, like, have common sense, please. Yeah, like, as long as Disney keeps putting out content for Lucasfilm, like, keep making Star Wars relevant like that, again, like, people are still going to talk about it, because, again, we wouldn't be in the position today, like, if Disney did not buy Lucasfilm, because, I mean, who knows where the franchise could have gone. Again, like, the Clone Wars would still be on Cartoon Network. Star Wars Detours still would have aired. Star Wars Robot Chicken still would have had episodes. Who knows about Underworld? Like, maybe ABC could have, like, co-funded / like, co-produced the series, and that would have been it. Like, who knows where that would have taken George? Like, and if he would have, like, made his sequel trilogy, like, oh man. It's that question, what if? What if, And I understand your guys' frustration with the franchise today. Like, there's ups and downs with the franchise for sure. Like, sure, there's been a lot of ups, Obviously, Rogue One and Solo are better movies than the sequels, It's pretty funny how Kathleen Kennedy admitted that. Well, I think that's kind of like a strong word. Like, she hates Rogue One because it's a better film than Force Awakens. Like, okay, there we go. That's what I was trying to get. Like, ha! Like, that's a good movie, Kathleen. Like, we need another movie to... Like, we need a sequel to Rogue One, maybe like Rogue 2, or like, I've said this before briefly to another Star Wars video, like, the Baltans, like, how they recovered the Death Star 2 plans. Like, I think we need a movie like that, or, again, maybe make it a Disney Plus series, I don't know, I don't know. Again, by the time when this video comes out, like, I am just super excited to go see Revenge of the Sith in the theaters this weekend, like, to get that theater experience. Seriously, I was a lot happy, like, when I saw Phantom Menace in the theater. Like, now that's money worth spending, like, a Star Wars movie that I actually want to see in the theater. Like, I don't remember specifically if Attack of the Clones had a 20th anniversary release. It could have been. I was aware of Return of the Jedi, but it wasn't playing at my local theater. Luckily, again, Phantom Menace was playing at my local movie theater, and Revenge of the Sith is obviously playing at my local movie theater too. You guys have no idea how bad I want to go see Phantom Menace in 3D. So bad in 2012 when they announced it. Like, they were supposed to re-release the original 6 films in 3D until, again, Disney bought Lucasfilm Like, Disney, you need to stop pushing in your political agendas and just, you gotta stop check marking every box. Like, the one box you need to check off is fun. And of course, especially in the prequels, right? Like, I enjoyed, like, you know, like, the politics in those movies, right? Like, there wasn't anything being shoved, right? But, like, with, you know, Disney's, like, identity politics and all of that, like, you know, leftist politics, like, that ruins the experience. At least, like, they try to keep, like, the Star Wars politics, you know, relevant, but, like, when you push your politics in that Disney, that is a big no-no. And again, just be grateful that I'm still considered a loyal fan, like, because I love this franchise from the bottom of my heart, and just, I would hate to see it go down here, because seriously, there was a couple of times where I almost gave up on the franchise, like, especially, like, in the first, like, Disney era, like, with the sequels, like, I thought, like, after Rise of Skywalker, am I done? But, like, with Mandalorian, like, again, that was peak. And I think Disney Plus peaked in 2020 for sure. Like, again, Star Wars really helped that platform, you know? But again, let me know what you guys think. Like, what can you take away from this video? Just know that whatever I say, like, what my opinions are about Star Wars, like, obviously they're not superior, they're not better than your guys'. It's like, I want to hear your guys' opinions about the franchise, right? Like, again, I've had fans in the past commenting, like, making, like, long paragraphs in the comments, like, this is what I think about this, or, like, this is what they should do, like, you know, like, that's what I want to keep seeing in the comments, like, and of course I'll like your comments, right? Like, you guys, you know, obviously have the freedom of speech, and don't be afraid to speak up, because I want to make sure every single one of your guys' voices is heard, you know? And whatever I talk about on this channel, not just Star Wars specifically, like, whatever I talk about, right? Like, I want to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions for sure. I guess that covers everything in this video. Again, if I missed a thing or two, like a couple things, and if you want me to cover it in another video, guys, I can. There's not going to be, like, a specific, like, oh, if this video reaches, like, 10 or whatever likes, like, I'll make it, like, no, like, if you guys want me to make another video, if I missed anything, go ahead. Of course, my favorite Star Wars conspiracy theory before the Clone Wars can confirm this was, like, Order 66, because in my mind, like, I thought the clones, like, they were secretly bad, but then, like, that's when, like, Palpatine told them to execute Order 66, but because of the Clone Wars, they like, announced the inhibitor chips that were put in the clones at birth. So, I don't know if this was something that George had planned when he was writing the prequels, or this was, like, a last-minute thing. Like, you know, to answer that question, like, why would the clones turn on their Jedi generals? Like, there needs to be a specific reason. Like, what's the trigger? Right? Like, and I love that, like, man, the fact, like, that's been taken seriously in Star Wars lore, like, man, like, it explains a lot. So I just want to say thank you again, Disney, for making Star Wars relevant, especially now, like, well, let's just say in the last 10 plus years, because, again, like, if you didn't buy Lucasfilm, like, where else would the franchise go? I think it would still be hated today, guys, like, because, honestly, there really wasn't much lore. Sure, yeah, there was with the books, yeah, but, like, not a lot of people read the books, you know? Like, obviously, everybody expects, like immediate, like, it needs to be on a movie form, like, if a movie can explain certain stuff, like, sure, people will be on board. Yeah, I did not want to sound like Catherine, like, oh, there's no source material, there's no books. Like, no, like, yes, there is source material, there is books, there's Legends, the expanding universe, there's all of that. You can work with that, Disney. Don't try to stop BSing, please. On behalf of all of the Star Wars fans, stop BSing, please. Because it's we've had enough. We have had enough. Even my cat's running around like, yes, enough BSing, Disney. Huh, bud. Alright. Again, that's all I have to say. So, thank you so much for listening, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the podcast. I certainly did. I know I've been wanting to talk about this on a separate video. I'm glad I did. Again, let me know in the comments what you think. And if there's other stuff you guys want me to talk about, I'd be glad to talk about for sure. Seriously, I love making these episodes for you guys. So, again, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you Padawans in the next episode. Thanks, bye, and may the Force be with you guys, always love you guys. Peace out, guys, and let's be nice to each other in this community. Alright, good night, guys.